Let's start by giving all praises to the Most High, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which in the ancient Hebrew is the Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS, who taught us his truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers, risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the elect, who would be the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, according to scripture and prophecy. The elect would be 1/3 of the Israelites, who in the last days will return back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for salvation, while the 2/3 of Israel who don't seek the Lord in time be destroyed with America. We back with another lesson through the mercy of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The lesson is going to be titled The Image or Imagination of the Beast, understanding Revelation 13 and 15. Again, the image or imagination of the beast, understanding Revelation 13 and 15. Okay, in this lesson, we're going to take a look at the image of the beast written in the scriptures. And we've done lessons on this before, but as time passes, new understanding comes out. Also, due to AI, you get a visual for a lot of the stuff that's been taught. So we got some visuals to go along with the breakdown as we look at the words image of the beast, which to do that, we're going to have to look at it in the Greek to get a feel for what it's really saying. So we're going to start here, Revelation 13 to 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So who is the beast? We got to do this first. Let's hit the book of Revelation 13 and 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. So the beast is a man, and it's not one man like most Christians think. The Antichrist is one man who gonna appear on TV in a suit, telling everybody they need to worship him. No, the Antichrist, the beast, is an entity. It's a nation of people. It's a military, economic alliance. So again, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 6. And this is the same with the beast written in the book of Daniel, as well as the book of Revelation, which I'm gonna just show this real quick to get the understanding of the beast, the fourth beast, or the red dragon. You can get that in the book of Revelation, chapter 17. Oops. Let's show this real quick. Very straight to the point. Revelation 17 and 9, here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads. No, the fourth beast has 7 heads. The dragon has 7 heads. 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. So the 7 heads are 7 mountains, which are 7 kingdoms. And with kingdoms, you have 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, the other is not yet come. But when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So showing you that the beast is a man. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. So the beast is a man. And that man in the last days, look who's in power. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. So back to Revelation 13 to 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So now we know the beast is not a literal monster underground. And also, this don't mean they're gonna give life to some ancient demons that's buried somewhere in Antarctica under the ice. No, this is dealing with the power of its technology. So let's deal with this. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Let's look up this word image. And bear with me, I was supposed to have this stuff pulled up beforehand. Let's look up this word image in the Greek. Image is G1504. And for image, it says image likeliness. It says a lot of things. But let's look up this word likeness in the dictionary. The fact or quality of being alike, resemblance. A portrait or representation. Okay, so it says he have power to give life unto the image of the beast. Well, the image of the beast is something that's a representation of the beast. And the image of the beast is not the white Jesus picture. The image of the beast is not the devil and Satan that people imagine. The image of the beast, really, when you go into it, is this whole reality that Esau the white man created. So in a sense, the picture of white Jesus is a part of that image, but it's not the image of the beast itself. It's much bigger than that. It's this whole reality that he created, from the way people think, what they believe in, how they live their life day to day, the things that make up our world physically. That's all part of the image of the beast. Why? Because the way people think, what they believe in, how they live, it's all in Esau's likeness. Here in the world, we don't live like the Lord intended us to. We live life like the so-called white man. Go to school, to the 12th grade, get a job, go to college, retire, work, get a paycheck, worship one day a week. You live in life like Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But even the things that make up our world, a McDonald's, a Starbucks, a Target, a Walmart, traffic, cigarettes, chemtrails, all that stuff was created in his likeness. All that stuff came into existence once he came into power. Plastics, microplastics, LGBTQT, trannies, pedos, moles. And that word likeliness takes you back to representation. So everything you see in the world today, physically or not physically, is created in Esau's likeness. It's all the representation of him. If it's plastics everywhere, it's a representation of Esau. Esau has been in the earth. If you see LGBTQT and trannies everywhere, you know that Esau Edom been in the work. But also microchips, which the RFID microchip that they want to put in your right hand, that's the mark of the beast. So the microchip, which is part of that image, the image of the beast, the representation of the beast, this is something the Edomite so-called white man would have came up with. The COVID-19, the pandemic, those are things that he created. So now we know what the image is. It's not limited to one thing, but it's a collection of things. Really, it's this whole reality. What you imagine, what you think about, your goals, and then the things that you see and feel and touch and interact with in the outside world. That's all part of that image. So let's look up this word representation real quick. I can't remember, but I want to see if something comes up. Also science, religion, colonization, westernization, becoming Americanized. That's all part of that image of the beast. The action of speaking or acting on behalf of someone, the description or portrayal of something in a particular way. So the way that the world is today, the world is of a certain nature, under the nature of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Check this out. The depiction of someone or something in the picture or other work of art. And what's that work of art? It's the earth. How you see the world today is a depiction of Esau's imagination. Again, chemtrails, plastics, trannies, Starbucks, amusement parks, a fake paper money, world wars. This is all a depiction of the mind of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Think of the earth like a slate, and Esau decorated the earth how he sees fit. So that's the image of the beast. But this word image, let's look into it a little more. So let's read it again. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Now we know what the image of the beast is. It's your whole world. Outside the body and even inside your body. Again, inside your body being the way people think, what they believe in, how they operate mentally, but not even that. The microplastics, the heavy metals, the forever chemicals that's inside of your body. This is all part of the image of the beast. People being overweight and obese. Young adults having heart attacks. Ain't even hit 30 years old yet. This is all part of that image of the beast. But let's look at this word image a little deeper. And now let's look at this AI overview. So the Lord just revealed this to me, looking at this stuff over and over again. The word image is pretty much the same word as imagination. So I looked up imagination etymology. The word imagination comes from Latin, derived from imaginar, to picture oneself, and image. So the word imagination comes from the word image. And look what it says for image, likeness. We just got that. When we looked at the word life, to give life into the image of the beast, that word for image, it says likeness. So this word image is literally the same word as imagination. So if we replace this word image with imagination, and he had power to give life unto the imagination of the beast. Now it's becoming easier to understand. So let's read this again. It comes from the Latin, derived from imaginar, to picture oneself, and image, likeness, meaning the power to form mental pictures. The power to form mental pictures. That's what it means to give life unto the image or unto the imagination of the beast, who is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. So he had power to give life, meaning he had the power to form mental pictures. The things that he imagines in his mind, he had the power to form it. He had the power to create it. The power, the resources, the wealth, the science, the technology to create it. That's why you got chemtrails. That's why you got man-made diseases. That's why you got nuclear missiles in the earth. That's why people are able to swamp body parts and be trannies. That's why you have plastics and forever chemicals. He had the power to form or to create or to manifest the things in his mind. So again, he had power, and that's what the power of his technology. the power, the understanding of science and the elements to give life, meaning to form, to create, the image or the imagination of the beast, who is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Let's continue reading. It signifies the mind's ability to create. So your mind can create something mentally. You can see it in your mind. But it's another thing when you're able to form it, you're able to create it. That's why it says to give life. Meaning he can take the things that he's imagined mentally and he can create it in this physical world. It signifies the mind's ability to create, manipulate, or recall images and concepts not physically present. And that's the thing. The nuclear missile was just an idea before it was created. And you can learn about that by watching the movie Oppenheimer. Everything you see was just an imagination of Esau Edom, the so-called white man at one point. But he had the power to form it or to create it or to give life to it, to bring it into this physical world. It says connecting directly to the root idea of likeness or representation. Again, so everything you see is a representation of him, from Christianity to science, American life, all the sickness, disease, people being poor, money, this whole money system, which is a fraud, it's a scam. Everything was created, and his likeness is a representation of him. He created the world in his image. Or, excuse me, he recreated the world in his image. That's why it says the mind's ability to create. So you can create something mentally, but when you can create it physically. But it says to manipulate, because really Esau didn't create nothing on his own. He took what the Lord has put in the earth and manipulated it. And matter of fact, while we on that point, I want to look at something else real quick. Let's do this real quick. Let's come to the book of what is it? I think it's Revelation 13 and 7. Yeah, this is it. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. And who is this? The beast, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and to overcome them. And check this out. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. The power that was given him, that's the same power that he used to give life unto the image of the beast, to recreate the world in his likeness, to recreate the world and mold the people as he wants them to be. So power was given him. Let's look up this in the Greek. Power was given. Which one was it? I think it's power. We're going to look at G 1849. Then check this out. Power of choice. Liberty or freedom of doing as one pleases. So yeah, the Lord let him create nuclear missiles, microchips, microplastics, trannies, diseases and illnesses, pseudoscience, religion, physical and mental power. The mental power to imagine it, but then to physically create it or bring it to life. The power of authority, influence, he has that. The power of rule or government, he got that too. Universally, authority over mankind. Esau got that right now. That's why Job 9:24 say what? Let's jump there real quick. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Meaning what? It's in his possession. It's in his control right now to do what he wants with it. That's why, again, when you go to this word power, it says power of choice, doing as one pleases. So back to the book of Revelation 13 to 15, and he had power. The power was given, and that was what? A mental power, a physical power. Esau had certain understanding of chemistry and physics and the elements and manipulating them to recreate the world as you see it today. And then the physical power, the money, the resource, the handiwork to do it. Now, a lot of the stuff you see was invented by us, but Esau took it to the next level. And that was all given from the Most High. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do this real quick. Hold on, bear with me 1 minute. Yep, this is the book of John 3 and 27. It says, John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. So the power that Esau is using in the earth to rule over the people, to recreate the world in his image, to manifest the things he imagined, to create it, to form it, to bring it to life, that power was given to him from heaven. He didn't do none of this on his own. So again, the power of choice, doing as one pleases, physical power, mental power, that was given from the Most High. That's why when you go back to the precept of Revelation 13 to 7, it says power was given him. Who did the power come from? Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah. Now let's jump back to this word for imagination. Imagination, mental image. Imagination and image really go hand in hand. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, the imagination. And that in its perfection, it would be the New World Order. This cashless digital society that the world is transitioning to. Because you got like 4 or 5 different stages in Esau's rulership here in the last days. I can't think of what they're all called, but you had the different industrial revolutions. You had the one industrial revolution, it was factories and warehouses, conveyor belts. You had another industrial revolution, computers, internet, everything becoming digital. There's another industrial revolution, everything being microchipped, everything being linked to the grid, everything going wireless. So ultimately, the image of the beast in its final form would be this cashless digital society. This is a very simplified version we see here. You have 5G, 6G, 7G internet. Everything is going to be linked to the internet, from people to vehicles, smart vehicles, houses, smart cities. Everything's going to be linked to the grid and digitized. Then you got the cloud. You get, and then you got blockchain. That would be these data centers. So this is the image of the beast in its perfection, in its final form. So back to this word for imagination. Reflection. Yeah, the world as you see today is a reflection of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The world as you see it today is evidence that Esau, Edom still exists today. For people that say the Edomites were done away with, that's not true. I think this is what I'm looking for right here. Imagination. From the Latin, it says imagine, literally meaning image. Imaginary, to picture oneself. Imagination. So the word imagine, imagination literally go hand in hand. So he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So what? He had power to recreate the world in his image, in his likeness, as he sees fit. Now, let's look at this word life, because something stuck out when I looked at that word in the Greek. Because we know it means to bring something to the light, to manifest it, but let's look at this here. In life, it is G4151. Now, it's going to say a bunch of things dealing with life, the spirit, man, this, and that. But check this out for life. It says the rational spirit, the power by which the human feels, thinks, or decides. So the way, so being able to feel, think, and make decisions, to be human-like. Now keep this image in mind with how far technology has advanced with artificial intelligence. And let's read this again. And he had power to give life. And life, not only to create it, to form it in the physical world, to manifest it, but to give life unto the image of the beast. That this very reality that Esau has created, the things you interact with in this physical world, is been given life. Not a rational spirit, but rational intelligence. That's artificial intelligence, by which humans feel, think, and decide. That's why you have artificial intelligence now. He literally gave life to his reality. That the image of the beast, this whole reality he's created, everything he's imagined and then manifested in this physical world, should both speak. Esau's reality is speaking to you now. That's why you got Alexa. That's why you got Siri. That's why you got these robots that they created. That's why you got artificial intelligence. And what we just showed in this lesson, looking at this word imagination, what was at the top? AI overview. The image of the beast is literally speaking. The image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So people who don't comply with the New World Order, who don't receive the RFID market chip and the Neuralink brain chip to be one with the system, one with the image of the beast, and that's how you worship the image of the beast, when you become one with it. When you give your body as a living sacrifice to this digital beast system. And you give your body as a living sacrifice by receiving the white man's technology in your body. Those who refuse, it says what? It's going to cause them to be killed. Because we know Revelation, I believe, 6 and 9, and Revelation 20 and 4, it speaks about people being decapitated for refusing the mark. But it don't stop there. The image of the beast, this cashless digital system of artificial intelligence and smart robots, everything being smart, it is going to continually put people to death. Not by killing them, but by pretty much shutting them out of society. That they can't operate. They can't take care of themselves. Then that's why it goes on to say, and he calls of all, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Ain't no coincidence, them the main two places where they want to market chip you, or put some kind of computer chip. That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. So when it says, cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed, part of them people gonna be killed because their access to buying and selling, access to the digital currency, the CBDC on the market chip, they're not gonna have access to the money or to use it. So what? If you can't buy or sell, that means eventually you die dehydration, you die of starvation, or you die of a sickness, or many other reasons. But yeah, he gave life unto the image of the beast, meaning he was able to create or recreate the world in his image, the things he was able to imagine. He manifested it into this reality. But then he literally gave life, rationale, the ability to feel, to think, to make decisions. He incorporated that into his reality. Now we're going to show that he's going to cause the image of the beast, his whole reality, this new world order, this Cassius digital society. He built it that it could speak and govern the people, reward them and penalize them. Now we're going to show these two videos to show Revelation 13 to 15 in action. So check this out. This is the image of the beast. Again, everything you see was created by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Honey buns, hot Cheetos, Red 40, robots, artificial lights, blue screens. But check this out.
Entry denied. You have criticized the government.
Sorry, last week you purchased too much meat and now your access to your money has been denied.
See that? That the image of the beast should both speak. He ain't spoke to a person yet, but the physical world that he interacts with is speaking to him. It said what on the first one? He had no access to the grocery store. The second one said what? He lost access to the money on his microchip. That's why it says, as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So worshiping the image of the beast, it begins with you getting an RFID microchip, but even beyond that is you following all the rules and regulation of the New World Order. That's worshiping the image of the beast as well. Because if you don't follow rules and regulation, you're going to be penalized. Money cut off. That's why it says that no man might buy or sell.
You haven't let the government know about this trip, and your access is denied.
You have gone over your carbon credit allowance of food this week, and your access to food has been denied. A day.
See that? He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That the image of the beast, or the things he's imagined, that he's created, should both speak. Is speaking, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So those who don't follow the rules and regulations of the New World Order, he's going to cause these people to be killed. If not executing them on the spot, he's going to pretty much shut them out of society. No access to the grocery store. No access to the money. So meaning what? No access to food. That no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. And once you get the mark, you got to continually worship the image of the beast. You got to follow all the rules and regulations, or risk being left for dead.
The life of UK school children 2035 with digital ID. You have gone over your electricity allowance this week, and your access is denied.
So yeah, electricity allowance. You obeying the rules and regulations, electricity allowance, water allowance, that's you worshiping the image of the beast. You got to do what the image of the beast say, or be penalized and be left for dead. Now imagine getting your heat shut off in the middle of winter, or your air shut off in the middle of summer.
You have gone over your weekly travel limit and your access is denied.
Entry denied.
All right, let's show this next one. The future with CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Central, see, time you say that word central, meaning it's owned by the government.
Your overnight account balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction.
There's a movie like this, but Time is Worth Life, and it has Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel in it. Very similar, though.
If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
See that? And that's the social credit system, which that's a whole nother topic.
Any extra credits? Please.
Tensions are high today, with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences.
That the image of the beast should both speak. So Esau manipulated the world to create this reality that does all his dirty work, pretty much. That's what he's trying to do.
All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 75 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yep, you got the flu. Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah, I filed an extension.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
Oh, and that's the thing too. Them devils, they want people to eat bugs instead of meat. So that's a little something they threw in there. The doctor told her more red meat for your iron, and the image of the beast detached this digital system. It told her no. You had enough red meat. Go get some worms. So this is what life is coming to, not just in America, but worldwide.
They want you eating bugs.
Oh, hell no.
Can you guys please let me through?
Attention. Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended.
See that?
Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
Damn.
Fuck you! Take your surveillance policies and rot in hell!
Touche.
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct.
Oh my god. How?
See, so yeah, the image of the beast, Esau created a system, a reality that works for him, does all his dirty work. So that was pretty much it. The image or the imagination of the beast, understanding Revelation 13 to 15. And this is why the Lord is coming back, to destroy this beast system, because this ain't no way to live. It would be impossible to live in this sort of reality and serve the Lord. It would be impossible. So, let me see something. Let's jump to the book of Revelation 20 and 4 real quick. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shah, and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the image of the beast. Or worship not the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads and in their right hands. And they live and reign with Mashiach 1,000 years. So people will be put to death for not worshiping the beast in his image and receiving the mark, but they're going to be rewarded after that. They're going to reign with Yahweh Shah because they partook in his suffering. Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. Maybe it's 3. And that's why the Lord said this. We start at Revelation 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door, and this represents your mind. And knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, that means open up your mind to Yahweh Shah. I will come in and will sup with him. And that's him giving you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and he with me. To him that overcometh, I will grant to sit with me in my throne. See, that's what the Lord said, he who overcometh. We got to overcome this digital beast system that Esau is creating. Even as I also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. So we got to overcome this. And you can only overcome it through Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Escaping this reality is impossible without the Lord. And the Lord equipped us mentally on how to deal with this. Pretty much trust in the scriptures, trust in the process, and endure. And be ready to lose everything. So, Lord, wouldn't that was informative, edifying. Till next time, Shalom.